So you want that mask, don't you? In fact, there's 3 masks that you really want, don't you? I'm about to tell you that they have no clue over at Massive what the hell that they're doing in terms of ranking to get you your 3 masks. State of the Game recap is live. Let's go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another State of the Game recap. And in today's recap, we've got 4 or 5 topics to go over, and one of them happens to be the masks. Global event is now over. The State of the Game has been dropped after this previous global event called Outbreak. The goal of this global event was to introduce 3 different classified gear sets: Lone Star, Final Measure, and, well, I guess the other one's kind of important. Maybe not, depending on if you like to use sniper rifles. But Deadeye was the 3rd gear set. More importantly, Ninja Bike Messenger Backpack was reintroduced into the game with a lot of enthusiasm. And it's actually probably the biggest thing, the biggest hype item to come back to the game I've ever seen. That includes any weapons or any gear sets that have been introduced. I think the Ninja Bike Messenger Backpack gives a lot of flexibility and a lot of options to the players themselves, to the individual, to make so many different, I'm talking thousands, probably more than that, combinations with different gear pieces to make your build custom to the way that you like to play. Now, part of the global event that happened this past week, I should say, 7 days, was that they introduced yet another vanity item in the form of masks. And there was 3 to be specific. And in order to get 1 mask, 2 masks, or all 3 masks, you had to be ranked in different tiers. There was 3 different tiers. And of those tiers, the lowest being number 1, which makes absolutely no sense. I can understand from a math standpoint that they're trying to say you're going to get 3 masks if you're in tier 3. But come on, let's just get this figured out and straightened up. So if you were into tier 1, which I ended up being in, even though we grinded like crazy and then ended up finding out how to cheese it at the end, but didn't do it. You ended up in tier 2, you got 2 masks. You ended up in tier 3, and you got 3 masks. Now, honestly, after watching the boys over at Massive talk about this, they legitimately have 0 idea. And I'm talking about 0 idea what they're doing. The ranking, how players are put into it. When they were talking about it, they were actually confusing themselves and didn't know what they were saying. And it was a little embarrassing because when you release something like this on a fairly large scale, to which most people would like, quite frankly, I don't really care about the masks. I think having the ability to customize your character's face and hair, remove sunglasses and add things, and all of that stuff to me is a lot more important than running around with a mask. The other thing is you don't really see the mask on you. You see your character 90-95% of the time from the back and not from the front. And while I'm killing multiple foos, whether it's in the Dark Zone or Last Stand, I don't really care what mask they're wearing. So to me, the masks were insignificant. And while I was farming, I was only farming for gear pieces, and I wasn't really farming for the masks. But I did get one. I guess it looks cool, and I probably won't wear it. And so, to sum up the mask part of the State of the Game, they literally have 0 idea about what they're doing. And I don't think they will figure it out, because I think they've confused themselves, as they do very easily, with so many aspects of this game, that they just don't have a clue. So if you're holding out for the next global event for potentially more masks, don't hold your breath, because it's probably going to be a clusterfuck to try and figure out what the hell is going on. They talked about the new classified gear pieces and how you can get them. There's a 1% chance. Yeah, I didn't stutter. I said 1% chance in last stand caches, survival caches. There's a 3% chance that name bosses, both in the open world and the DZ, the Dark Zone, they're going to drop from name bosses. Now, if you farm a lot, then you can do some loops through DZ 3.4, DZ 5.6, DZ 6. You can hit probably 20 to 30 bosses at least every hour. So if you do hit 100, there's a 3% chance potentially of getting 3 different classified pieces. Knowing my luck in running Barrett's Lexington, getting that chest piece, it took me 500 times and I still didn't get it. So I don't care what their drop rates are. Once again, I think they have zero idea what's going on. They've talked about this bringing full circle back to the masks. They've talked about the new global event, which is going to be called Assault. Touched on it a little bit in the PTS. An Assault Outbreak was headshots. You'd hit a headshot and you'd get a lot more damage. Kill an NPC with a headshot and you get more damage. Assault breaks down as you do more damage when you're close and you take more damage when you're further away from NPCs. So, as they said in the state of the game, be ready to bring your shotguns out. Be ready to bring your SMGs back if you're not running them. Hell, you just bring whatever you want to bring to the fight, and we will take that fight to the mother NPCs. But talking about global events, they said that the global event is not going to be out for a while because they want to try and fix. And I got to pause here because I need you to let this sink in so you can tell we're not getting global events anytime soon. Let me tell you what they said. They want to fix the ranking system for masks before they introduce the new global event, so that when they bring in the new global events, the ranking system is going to be good. Guys, we've held our breath for ages for different things from the devs, and they have failed us on many, many occasions. Let me be clear. 1.7 is the best patch. I've been around since 1.1. The best patch this game has seen. I thoroughly enjoy the Outbreak, the global event, I should say. I thoroughly enjoy the new classified gear. I thoroughly enjoy the Ninja Bike Messenger backpack. I thoroughly enjoy the different commendations and seeing when you do things in the game that add up and stack to what a commendation is. You get a patch, you clear those commendations off. I thoroughly enjoy patch 1.7. I have no issues with it. In fact, I love it. I think it's awesome. But what I don't like and what I don't appreciate is the fact that they cannot get their shit together over at Massive. They cannot get their shit together when it comes to this game. And I don't care how many people that are on the payroll, they've made a significant amount of money, and little things like a ranking system for these masks, because people so desperately want a freaking mask, it should be extremely simple to roll out. And in fact, the developers are making it complicated. We're not. We're just farming. We're participating, but they are creating, and they're making it extremely difficult. So here's my plea to Massive. Here's my question to Massive. Why? What's the point? Make the drops for masks, if you really want to introduce them into the game, 1%. Give me the same amount of opportunity, or any player, to get them from name bosses, from caches, or part of a commendation. Make it a super hard commendation for me to get a mask. Let's make it difficult. And quite frankly, like I said from the beginning, I don't care. You find me in the DZ or you find me in Last Stand, I'm not even going to be wearing it. I do not care about them. But for the people that do, make it simple to understand how to get it. Don't make it where people are confused and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So they've talked about the new global event was supposed to be coming in September, And then he said, well, it's not going to be out for it's not going to take us 3 months, but it's going to take us a few weeks. And I'm thinking, what's the difference? A couple weeks is 2 weeks, but a few weeks, that could be 5, that could be 7, that could be 9. There's 3 months. Are we talking Christmas? That patch? Sorry, we're not even talking about patch 1.8. We're talking about the next global event, something that should just be easily rolled out, something that is simple to do for them because they've spent so much time developing it. It's not simple to create, but once they've created and rolled it out and they've tested it, i.e. the PTS, this is the whole point of a PTS, to test this stuff before you introduce it. And I appreciate the fact they're introducing new pieces and new items and new events and all of these things. It's awesome. But let's get our shit together. Let's get it together. What am I missing here? Somebody help me out. If you have any comments on this, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to have a chat and carry this conversation on. But for now, I think the rant is over. It's pretty straightforward. Massive, get your shit together. It's time. It's time to get it together. A couple of things they do know, the bolt action sniper bug. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to spread what it is, but they are going to fix that. They've talked about lag. I've defended Massive a little bit on lag, but these guys are really starting to frustrate me with everything else. And so it's getting a little bit frustrating. In terms of lag, I'll touch on it for 30 seconds. I think your internet and your system has a lot to do with it. And I think before we start blaming Massive, while they are a huge blame, you should make sure that your system is optimized and your internet is at a fast upload download. Make sure your ping is really low in order to play this game at an optimum level. And as promised, there is absolutely zero news for 1.8. That was to be expected. And quite frankly, in my opinion, I think it's time that they're going to want to start making some more money. And that means dropping the Division 2. And quite frankly, I have run around the streets of New York, been a part of the subway system, and done my part in this game, that it's time to move the game to some other city. Maybe Paris, maybe Tokyo, hell, another U.S. city. I don't really care. But a different landscape would be awesome. Having, moving it into Central Park would be awesome. Things like this to bring intrigue back to the game. They've done a lot with patch 1.7. They can fix the leaderboards extremely easy. Let's just make it simple. And quite honestly, I don't care about masks, and I don't know why you do either. That's my rant on today's state of the game. They absolutely dropped nothing new. Talked about zero. And it took me 12 minutes to recap it. So I apologize for the length, but my rant is over. I want you guys to go out and have a great rest of the week if you're listening. It's Thursday. If you're playing on the weekend, happy hunting. We'll talk to you guys extremely soon. Follow my channel. Subscribe, like it, enjoy it. Enjoy the fruits of my labor. Watch for new builds. I will see you all on the other side.